Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cost of Living Bullshittery, and today we're going to explore spam again. What was the last one? A couple of months ago, wasn't it? What did we do? Well, we made like spam kebabs, didn't we? Made like kebab meat out of a tin of spam. So I thought today we'll do another cheap easy recipe and make like the most delicious fried rice you've ever had in your life. It's going to be cheap, it's going to be quick, it's going to be tasty, but make sure you watch the whole thing because there's going to be a few steps that are crucial to getting the perfect fried rice. But before we dive into it, please do the usual thing. Like, share, subscribe, thank you very much. Share this to your friends and family, the people in need as well, because this is like super cheap. I mean, a bit of spam, which you can get for, well, 200 gram can is what, about £2 to £2.50. Bit of cold leftover rice, some veggies that you want to put in it, bit of seasoning, and you know, you've got a really nice, tasty, cheap dish. So come on, let's bloody crack on with it. Now, as always, all the ingredients will be listed in the description below this video. So we've got our beloved spam, that's a 200 gram can. Sweet corn, some canned sweet corn, you could probably use frozen. I'm not going to use all of that, I don't think, because that's, that's 150 gram drained weight, so I may use about half of that. A couple of chucky eggs, use free range, use like barn eggs. Look, can't be judging people on the quality of the stuff that they buy at the minute, because we're all just trying to bloody survive because we're being shafted. A couple of spring onions, or I think the Americans call them scallions, and about 70 grams worth of frozen peas. You can use tin peas as well if you want. And there's other veg you could stick in there. If you've got some bean sprouts, grated carrots, some onions, peppers, all sorts. There's so many different things you can put in this. So I'll put a list of swap outs on the screen. So if you haven't got any of these veggies lying around, you can just use what you've got. And of course, fried rice would not be complete without your boy, MSG. The holy grail of all things savoury. Again, don't panic about it. There's a lot of demonisation about this stuff and it's all wrong. It's demonstrably fine. It's found naturally in lots of different foods anyway, like parmesan, celery, mushrooms, tomatoes. It's just been extracted in powder form. Use it sparingly like you would salt. You know, you're not going to eat like spoonfuls of this because obviously you're going to get poorly, aren't you? The same as you wouldn't eat a spoonful of salt. Just a little bit, it's all you need. Obviously we're going to use salt and pepper, but first, really crucial step this, really important, let's talk about the rice. Whoop. Why is it on a tray, you may ask? Well, the reason is I cooked this the night before. I will do a video at some point showing you how to cook rice, but essentially you want cold leftover rice. If you try to make this with freshly cooked wet rice straight from the hob, you will have a bad time. It'll be mushy, soggy, horrible, and just a complete mess. Look at how dry those grains of rice are. Don't matter if they're clumping together, that's fine. But you can see there's no moisture in there at all. And the type of rice I've used is basmati. It's easy to work with. You could use jasmine rice if you want. Not tried it with long grain, but you know, you could try it and see what happens. And that's the first most important thing. Make sure your rice is pre-cooked, cooled down the night before so it's nice and dry. Get that right and you're halfway to a perfect fried rice. The second most important thing, with any kind of fried rice, any sort of stir fries, anything that needs really fast cooking, do your goddamn mise en place. Mise en place is just a French fancy term for chop all your shit up, get it all ready, so that you're not faffing about and panicking when you're frying the dish up, because it comes together really quickly. So if you were chopping stuff up as you were going, again, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to get stressed out, throw the pan out the window, and get a takeaway instead, and then you've spent far too much money. I'll take the spring onion, I'll give it a quick wash, I'll slice them up. I forgot to say at the beginning as well, I'm going to add some garlic to this, maybe like 1 or 2 cloves. Again, slice that up nice and fine. The spam, all I do with that is take it out of the tin and just cut it into like, well, roughly a couple of centimetre cubes, something like that. The sweet corn I'll just drain off and use probably about half that tin. The eggs I'll just crack into a bowl and just kind of whisk those up. And then you're pretty much ready to go. You okay, bud? I'd give you a bit of spam, but honestly, I think it's probably too salty for you. Honestly, at your age, maybe just a tiny, tiny bit. A bit of spam. Literally, like the tiniest little bit. Straight into that. Good? Is that nice? Right, no more, okay? It's not good for your little ticker. That's it. I'll get you something in a bit, alright? Something nice for cats. I did also forget to mention, I'm going to add some soy sauce, some dark soy, and optionally, a little bit of sesame oil. Sesame oil. You mess my words up when I'm filming sometimes. If you haven't got that, you don't need to add it. It's purely optional. If you've got a bit, add some in. Now for all the flipping Uncle Rogers out there that are going to be screaming at me, where's the fucking wok, Adam? I haven't got one. All right, and you might not either, but I don't want you to feel excluded from recipes like this if you haven't got a wok. You know, in normal times, I'd say, yeah, go out, invest, spend 50 quid on a nice cast iron wok, get it nice and seasoned. It's going to do you really well in the long run. But people ain't got any bloody money at the minute, so we're going to have to make do with what we've got. So if all you've got is a pan like this, frying pan, it's going to work in a pinch. So I don't want to hear any flipping hiya from bloody Uncle Roger about this. So I'm going to get my hob onto nice and high, whack it up as far as it will go. That's on a 6. On electric. On a gas, well, just turn it up till it goes no further. And add just a tiniest smidge of oil to the pan. And get that nice and hot. Dishes like this come together really fast, but the pan needs to be nice and hot. And as it starts to get nice and hot, in with the Spam. In we go. Should start to sizzle straight away. And I think Spam is 100 times better if it's got colour on it. If it's a little bit crispy on those edges, well, it's umami, isn't it? Like if you were just like making a beef stew, you're browning the beef, it just makes it taste better. So get some nice colour on that. Literally like 20 seconds if your pan is hot enough, which mine isn't because I'm impatient. So after a little bit of time, say 20-30 seconds if your pan is hot enough. Now it should just be lightly golden brown, nice and crispy on the outside. You don't need to take it too far. I'm just going to get these out of the pan for a second, but keep it on the heat. And then whack in your eggs. And just kind of make it how you want. You know, if you want like really large curds in your fried rice, then don't stir it as much. But I want to break it up a little bit more than that. In literally like 10 seconds, that egg is done. Back out, just add it with the Spam, straight back on the heat, straight in with the garlic, smoosh that around for about 10 seconds, just to start to cook it out a bit, but obviously don't let it burn. That was an Usher song, wasn't it? Let it burn. Once it starts to take on a slight tinge, again, not burnt, straight in with your rice. And keep everything moving, okay? Don't let it sit. That's when things really do start to catch and burn. If you've got like little clumps, just break them up. Next, I'm going to add the peas and sweet corn. And this is not as hot as I'd like it to be because I'm working with an electric hob. You just don't get the same control as you do with gas. But listen, we're doing this stuff at home in normal kitchens. We're doing our best, aren't we? And after about 30 seconds, back in with the Spam and eggs. I'm going to add a little pinch of salt, but like go easy on it. Because, you know, there's salt in the Spam. So, again, that sounds like an Adele song, doesn't it? Go easy on the salt, baby, 'cause you might die of heart disease.
Stop it. Get some help.
A little sprinkling of our MSG, our disco salt. Spring onions, less, a few, but I'm gonna use to garnish. And then probably about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half, maybe 2. You do you. Okay, but just like add a tablespoon first, taste it, and then if you want more, you can always add it. A dark soy. Make sure all that rice is coated in that soy. Got your MSG mixed in there. And I tell you what, mate, this is looking absolutely smashing. And just look at that pan of sizzling gorgeousness. Huh? And I'll serve that up into a nice deep bowl, garnish it with spring onions, a little drizzle of sesame oil, and that is going to be absolutely gorgeous. And you can add the sesame oil as you're cooking, just right at the last minute, but don't add too much because it's potent stuff. But I just like to add a bit on the end, mix it in, and get it in my face. Beautiful. That is like the most savouryest thing you're ever going to eat. Spam fried rice. Get it made. So I've shown you there how to make a really quick, simple fried rice using store cupboard cheap ingredients. Spam, got tin corn, a few extra pieces, bit of garlic, some spring onion, leftover rice. You can make something really tasty. But let me know in the comments as well, what's your favourite thing to do with this like lovely tin of pink, glorious meatiness? Spam. I'm not even sponsored, by the way, but I bloody well should be. Spam, if you're watching, send the bloody checks. It's nice though. Anyway, I'm going to bugger off. I'm going to shoot off, finish the rest of that. But that'll feed, what, there's enough there for 2 really like greedy people or like 3 just normal people. Like, that's plenty to go around. Do the usual thing, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of lovely stuff. Thank you very much. But anyway, I'll see your gorgeous faces next time. I'm off to get the rest of this down my face. See ya.